I spoke a short time ago with the economic advisor to Judo Bank, Warren Hogan.
Look, Andrew, there is absolutely no two ways about it. These were strong figures. We've had another 33,000 jobs in June on top of lots of jobs, 70-odd thousand the month before. All the different measures, whether you look at the fact that New South Wales unemployment rate is at a record low. Every state except for South Australia has unemployment below 4%. The employment to population ratio is at a record. Everything is saying that our labour market is white hot, that all of this surge in population that we're getting is people ending up with jobs. And the reality is the economy is only going to slow down so much while you're getting such fantastic jobs growth. So it's good news for the economy, but bad news for the RBA and interest rates, because this probably means the RBA's still got some work to do.
Yeah, so a rate rise next month, perhaps?
I think so. That's my initial instinct. I think we learned that it was a close call in July at the start of this month. And I think what the RBA is doing at the moment is trying to find a rate level where they're comfortable to sit back and watch for a good 6 months. And I think this sort of data tells you they're not quite there yet. Bearing in mind, of course, that our interest rate at 4.1% is still well below not just inflation here in Australia, which is more like 6, but also other interest rates around the world. So I think it probably does add to the probability of a rate hike in a few weeks, but we've got the CPI out next week and that'll be important too.
Do you agree with Michelle Bullock that unemployment needs to rise to, say, 4.5% for inflation to come down?
Look, I think that's the right way to think about it. But the reality is that forecast of 4.5%, which reflects a slowdown in the economy, which is what we need to get rid of inflation, is just what their models tell them. And what we're seeing is a really unique set of circumstances post the pandemic. And of course, we've got this surge of immigration occurring, which we haven't seen anything like this before in this country. So I would say that that's a right sort of benchmark, but there's every chance we can get this economy slowing down and inflation back to target with a 4% unemployment rate. Or if we sort of overcook the rate hikes or something happens in the world economy, it might go to 5. So generally, I don't think that's a bad way to think about it, but it's just a projection from a model, and we've just got to take this economy as it comes.
The opposition keeps saying the government is spending too much and that's fueling inflation, yet Jim Chalmers produced one surplus and appears set to produce another. So are they right or are they exaggerating, the opposition?
Well, I think that they're probably exaggerating, and I think the spirit of what they're saying is right. I think the government could have done more to take pressure off the RBA. They've made a political choice not to cut back fiscal policy, to be very careful about the way they're seen to be impacting the economy and let the RBA sort of take the blame for it. And I think if the peak in the cash rate is somewhere where it is now or a bit higher and we get a soft landing, not a recession, that'll prove to be a good political judgment. But I think if the economy proves resilient, which this data today highlights it is, and the cash rate has to go above 5% next year and we end up in a recession, even though it's only a mild one, I think that's when the political misjudgment will be seen and the Australian people will start to wonder why they didn't do more when they had the chance this year and last year.
Warren Hogan, Economic Advisor, Judo Bank. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Andrew.